movie before?
We saw this through his first term in the presidency, when he not only didn't start any new wars, he took action to de-escalate and prevent wars. He exercised the courage that we expect from our commander-in-chief in exhausting all measures of diplomacy, having the courage to meet with adversaries, dictators, allies, and partners alike in the pursuit of peace, seeing war as a last resort. The truth is, as we head towards our decision as a country in November, the same cannot be said about Kamala Harris. In fact, the opposite is true, and we're living through this reality today as this administration has us facing multiple wars on multiple fronts and regions around the world, and closer to the brink of nuclear war than we ever have been before. This is one of the main reasons why I'm committed to doing all that I can to send President Trump back to the White House where he can once again serve us as our commander-in-chief. I've been their most recent target, added to a secret domestic terror watch list after exposing the truth about what kind of dangers we would face if Kamala Harris is elected as president. We as Americans must stand together to reject this anti-freedom culture of political retaliation and abuse of power. We can't allow our country to be destroyed by politicians who will put their own power ahead of the interests of the American people, our freedom, and our future. To stand here before you today, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent, if you love our country, as I do, if you cherish peace and freedom as we do, I invite you to join me in doing all that we can to save our country and elect President Donald J. Trump and send him back to the White House to do the tough work of saving our country and serving the people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Roger, let me ask you the two questions that Steve posed on this. How far will they cut and how fast?
Thanks for having me on, Becky. So I heard what Steve said. I think they'll cut in a series of 25 basis point moves. I think he laid out some of the rationale for that. The economy is still doing very well. Unemployment has been creeping up, but I would say only creeping. And frankly, on the other side, inflation has been coming down, but it has been creeping and uneven as well. So I think wisdom of the committee will be 25 basis points. How far will they go? I think only time will tell. Because of the question that Steve posed very clearly, they aren't really sure, and no one is, of what this so-called neutral rate is. And so they want to inch along and then let the economy and the incoming data tell them if things are roughly in balance.
You think that there is pretty much unanimity that they're going to cut by 25 basis points this next meeting?
I think it's probably pretty much unanimity on the committee. You know, the market will have different points of view. I think the market will be very focused on, incoming labor market data, ignoring the fact that Powell said they're not data point dependent, but data dependent. But yes, on the committee, I think 25 is probably where most people are centering their expectations for the upcoming meeting.
So when you hear from people who say, look, the economy is really starting to take a turn for the worse, the Fed needs to move quickly, they are behind the curve on this, they're not looking at the most recent data, what's your reaction?
My reaction is, this is a very large economy, and there are many different sources of data, many different inputs, and this is a committee that is looking for a consensus. And so there will be some people in the committee who argue what you've just said, maybe we should move faster. There'll be some people in the committee who would say, wait a minute, inflation is still well above our target. We are predicting that it will get there, but we're not sure. And so I think part of the dynamic here is a committee of 19 voices trying to decide what best to do. And in that certain circumstance, while there be arguments on both sides, the central tendency will be more towards that 25 basis points. That'll be something for everybody. If you think the economy is weakening, we are definitely cutting. If you aren't sure how quickly things are unwrapping or unfolding in terms of inflation, then we are cutting at a moderate rate. So I think there are lots of dynamics that will lead the committee to 25 basis points, even though a few people may point to the need to try to go faster at this moment.
The slowdown in China or something has made it so that oil has not, the worst case scenario for
We just
for
haven't
going up
seen that.
hasn't happened. And it would be bad for inflation. It'd be bad for a lot of reasons.
Think
but
about it. It's amazing.
It's boring. I wanted you to say something exciting today.
I
about
told
oil.
you I have guns, whatever. But it is an amazing story, Joe and Becky, that we have the Russia-Ukraine war still going on.
Yeah.
We have this war in the Middle East, and look where oil prices are.
But the world is well supplied, I think.
And I would say U.S. policy has been designed to keep foreign oil on the market. Our sanctions policy on Russia avoided targeting Russian oil. Iran still continues to put their barrels on the market.
We pretend like we're trying to stop it, but we didn't.
Well, we've gone after other parts of the Russian economy. But I keep saying price caps were designed to keep Russian oil on the market. Yes, we said we tried to cut the amount of revenue they took from that oil, but still it was designed to keep the market well supplied.
So it's been a tight range. It used to be 40 to 120.
We'd have these wild swings, I know.
Yeah. But now it's been 70, 75.
So we've got some interesting questions. Again, continue to pay attention to the Middle East. If this Libya outage is prolonged, that's important for the market. But OPEC has decisions that they have to make, too. Do they start putting barrels on the market? Do they take a pause? I think a lot of people are waiting to see what comes next with OPEC.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. And like Obama said, we've seen this movie before. It's like we're living back in 2020. We're seeing supply issues. We have mpox, the Birdman, mosquitoes. The drums are beating. You can't make this stuff up. And who was the cause of all of it? Who had their hand in everything, the hidden hand? That's right, the central banks. And now they're going to be in rate cut mode. And if they only do, especially the Fed, only 25 basis points each meeting, then guys, we know we're in trouble. But we know the goal: to destroy the legacy market so the fourth industrial revolution rises, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And we have oil has been steady, even though the drums are beating. And guys, like all commodities, they're all manipulated. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And then, guys, we have more and more of these funds selling stocks. They're putting more and more cash on the sideline because they know they're about to get things pennies on the dollar. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Now we have Trump re-indicted. And, guys, we know that's just a movie for September 18th. Get your popcorn, sit back, and let it play out. And guys, don't forget, I told you this week was going to be a roller coaster ride because we have futures contracts ending. But we're seeing more and more big players buying up crypto because remember, guys, this is definitely the future. Don't let anyone distract you. Don't let anyone scare you. You can clearly see it with your own eyes that this legacy market is about to end. And the fourth industrial revolution is about to rise. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.